Hi, and welcome to Rain Check. I know exactly nothing about this game. Okay, so starting off. This game contains adult contents and concepts that are not suitable for minors. You must be at least 18 years of age or older to play this game. Well, I mean, last time I checked, I'm 20. Last time I checked, that's over 18. I'm just going to make an educated guess and say that I'm over the age of 18. Why did I do this? Why did I do this? Oh shit! Streamlabs does not like that. Streamlabs does not like that. It does not like video. So we're just going to rush past the title screen. We're just going to run past it. It does not like it. It does not like video. This is why we only play visual novels here. Because my laptop does not like it whenever I live stream video. It does not like that at all whenever it renders video. The door shuts firmly beside me as I fumble into the back seat. As my adrenaline and excitement subside, my nerves begin to get the better of me. It really fucking hates animations. It fucking hates them. The Grand Marine Hotel, please. The one on 8 Main Street? My mind blanks out for a second, leading to a momentary pause before I reply. Yes, that should be the one. Alright, pal. See, like, okay, tiny animations like this, it can handle that just fine. But full screen animations, it hates. It hates on a burning passion. Taking a deep breath, I reach for the seatbelt and click it into place, feeling the reassuring tug of the strap against my chest. Is there a way to turn off animation? I place my slightly damp backpack gently on the floor between my legs, careful not to disturb the contents. I consider starting a conversation with the driver, but ultimately decide against it as I'm unsure of what to say. Instead, I look outside and see that the drizzle is finally letting up. The weather may be dreary, but it's oddly comforting and helps me calm down despite everything. The cab driver shifts into drive and merges onto the airport terminal road. Even though it's quite early in the morning, it's surprising that there's already traffic zooming about. The inside of the cab is pretty dark with black seats, dark flooring, and a general gray frame all around. I'm going to see if I can turn off animations. Font, open dyslexic. There we go. The inside of the cab is... Yeah, I already read that. I should have done all this earlier. Even the windows are slightly tinted, making the already gloomy skies outside appear even darker. Okay. This makes my attempt at trying to examine the driver rather difficult, but I manage after briefly waiting for my eyes to adjust between the contrast of the gray sky through the windshield. His arms reveal that he's a well-built fox, and from what I can gather at a glance, he's probably in his late 30s. Eventually, we exit the airport road and merge onto a larger main road. I can't help but stare out the side door window. The airport becomes smaller and smaller as the cab accelerates, and soon it dips out of view past the horizon. I look ahead, trying to make a note of where we're going, but it proves to be futile since there are no distinguishable landmarks around. This is really happening, isn't it? Oh, I should probably turn down the music. It's really happening, is it? Just a cab ride away and I'll be at the hotel that hosts the world's largest tech convention. Not just any hotel either. The Grand Marine is an impressive and dignified establishment, often regarded as one of the most luxurious in the world. This being a once-in-a-lifetime chance, I'm definitely going to try and enjoy my stay as much as possible. There's so much to do at the convention. Latest tech reveals, large companies launching new products, and unbelievable demonstrations of their newest inventions and research. Last year, a company showcased an impressive feat of technology with a hat that could read minds through an AI-based algorithm using brainwaves. Fascinating to think about how far technology has come. Oh, jeez. I need to, turn down my laptop headphones. I forgot to do that. Honestly, it's a bit nerve-wracking since I was never the type to travel around my neighborhood, let alone travel across the country. The thought of being in a cab, traveling alone like this, puts a pit in my stomach. I'm feeling anxious, there's no doubt about it. But it's the good kind of anxiety. The kind that motivates and excites you. If anything, I'm relieved to be out of the house for a change. So crazy weather, huh? I'm sure you've heard about the rain these past couple of weeks. I snap out of my reverie when I realize that the driver is talking to me. Oh no, I haven't. Was there a flood or something? Ah, no, nothing like that. Hiya. Wait, you're already here. You must not be from around here. Mistook you for a local. Usually, rain wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary, but I stay silent, expecting some sort of follow-up, but I get nothing. I look out the window on my right, hoping to see the answer to the weirdness in the clouds, but find nothing. Glancing back at the driver, there's a realization that they might be waiting for me to reply instead. I guess this would be a great opportunity for me to learn more about the city, especially since I'm staying here for a little over a week. But it's strange that it's been raining every day for the past 17 days. 17? 17 days in a row. No, rather, it's been raining for the past 17 days, on and off. Some days there's not a lot, but on other days it just pours. I would have never guessed that. I think the longest it's ever rained back home was 5 days in a row. I'm not going to let some rain stop me from enjoying myself, though. Besides, there's nothing an umbrella can't fix if I decide to explore the city. Even though I didn't pack an umbrella. Yup, and I guess this is technically the 18th day now that I think about it. For all my years as a cab driver around here, I've never experienced anything as bizarre as this. A lot of folks are pretty annoyed about the rain, but I couldn't be more happy. Unfortunately for me, and fortunately for them, it seems to have stopped raining now, at least for the time being. If I had to guess, are more people willing to take the cab lately? I can only assume so. Quite the quick thinker, huh? But, yep, you have the right of it. I've been more busy these days than ever, and that includes the holiday season. I could sense a smile in the driver's voice. His expression is contagious. I can't help but smile back. But enough of that. What brings you here? Oh, me? Have you ever heard of TAI? I'm not sure I have. It's the Technological Advancements and Innovations Conference. It's one of the largest tech conventions in the world, and it's being held here this year. Ah, yes, that's right. Heard about that from another passenger the other day. Some high-tech stuff, huh? Yeah, all the tech giants from around the world go to this convention to showcase their latest products and technologies. Hiya. That's interesting. Anything noteworthy going on this year? From what I remember seeing on the timetable, there's some augmented reality stuff that seemed interesting, along with improved technology showcases. The driver shrugs and doesn't respond, probably thinking about what to say next. To be honest, I'm not really sure what you just said, but from the sound of things, it seems like this conference is the place to be for tech-savvy people like you. Yeah, I guess. Though I wouldn't consider myself to be too tech-savvy. Most of this stuff just fascinates me. The conversation dies down as I realize that the driver doesn't know much about the tech convention, nor are they interested in what I was saying. That's when I decide to look out the window again, seeing if I could spot anything interesting. I can see that we got on the freeway at some point, but that's about it. Nothing remarkable. I spend the next little bit staring out at the unassuming landscape, most of which is just fields and vegetation with the occasional outcropping of trees. Now would be a good time as any to take out my phone and let my mother know that I've landed safely, and I'm on my way to the hotel. I reach into my pocket and take out my phone. I'm greeted with a low battery message as I unlock it, but I quickly dismiss the warning and search through my contacts for my mom. It takes me a second to think about what to message her, but in the end, I think a standard, "Hi, I made it and I'm safe," is the best idea. I type the message as such, and that I'm now on my way to the hotel. There's also my email that I want to check up on. I applied for some jobs in the past couple of weeks, so I'm still waiting to hear back from them. Although my curiosity is piqued, I decide against it as my phone is at 6% battery. Hey pal, good news, we're almost at the Grand Marine. Just a left turn up ahead and we should be there. A heads up, this street's fairly busy regardless of the time of day, so I can't really stop the car for very long. You'll need to get out as soon as I'm in front of the hotel. That's perfect, thank you. I didn't pay attention to the last couple of minutes, but at some point we got off the highway and entered what seemed like the outskirts of downtown. The street we're on now is much narrower, and I could see the stop-and-go traffic in front of us. Looks like I'm getting the authentic, lively downtown experience already. He should have charged on the plane. He should have. But did he? I'm guessing no. By the way, I look forward towards the driver, waiting for him to continue. You'll definitely want to check out the OPEX Research Center if you have time. It's not too far from where the Grand Marine is either. Just a couple of blocks north from where you're staying. It's kind of similar to the tech convention you're attending in a way. Bunch of gadgets to see there, and take photos of it if you're into that. Plus, it's open to the public for free. Okay, thanks. I'll be sure to check it out if I have time. Skill issue. Ha. He should have chosen basket weaving. Burn. I am cringe as fuck. I just dabbed. I am cringe as fuck. What kind of research do they do there anyway? Couldn't tell you if I'm being honest. I've never actually been there myself. Just telling you what I've been told from passengers like yourself coming to visit and sightsee. See, like, I have a Facebook account. I just use it to scroll through Facebook and watch videos. Like, literally. In the past 2 years or so, I can count on one hand the amount of posts that I've made on Facebook. I can count on one hand. I give a nod back to acknowledge the driver, even though I'm sure he isn't able to see it through his rearview mirror. I do not like this font. Hang on, I'm changing the font back. I am very indecisive. See, now this is easy. This is slightly easier to read to me. The conversation dies down and I realize we're quickly approaching the hotel as countless tall buildings suddenly surround us. Looking out through the windshield, I could see a large rectangular gray building at the intersection. I glance up higher and see an enormous hourglass-shaped skyscraper next to us, which makes the rectangular building look tiny in comparison. That's probably the hotel I'm staying at if I had to guess. It sure looks impressive and high class. The other buildings and high-rises seem just as remarkable. Honestly, I haven't been in a city center like this in a while. There's only so much to see living in the suburbs. There isn't much of anything back home, and the town I went to college for was nice, but there weren't any high-rises. In fact, there wasn't a lot of anything besides the actual college itself. That's my college town, right there. Alright, we're here. You take it easy, my friend. The driver turns onto Main Street, and the first thing I notice is the sheer lack of lanes. There's technically 2 lanes for traffic, but the inner lane's used for parking. I immediately see a sign that says, "No stopping anytime," right next to the lane of parked cars. I'll never understand city life. Thanks, you too. I quickly grab my bag and exit the cab, making sure I don't slam the door on my tail like I did back in middle school. I hear the back of the car make a popping sound, signaling that the driver had opened the trunk. Although not noticeable from inside, I can still feel a slight drizzle fall upon my fur as I get out of the car. Jogging back as quickly as I can, I grab my suitcase with a firm grip. I slam the trunk shut and run straight under the hotel canopy, making sure not to get too wet, while trying not to lug my suitcase through any puddles that are scattered across the ground. Maybe I should have packed an umbrella after all. I look back towards the street, and not surprisingly, my cab's already gone. Honestly, I had hoped that I could take a tour around the block after checking in, but I don't think that would be possible now with the rain picking up. I guess I'll just check out the hotel until the convention officially starts, since I'm here rather early. Turning around, I briefly stare up towards the sky. As I try not to get any rain on my face, the immense size of the hotel hits me. The building looms over me, threatening to block out the sky from where I'm standing. The best I could describe it is colossal. I think I remember reading online that there are 75 floors. Hang on, I'm going to crack my back real quick. I have a shitty back, I swear to God. On my right is the same rectangular building I had seen at the intersection, and it's connected to the hotel through a sky bridge. I'm turning that down on there. 75 fucking floors. What the fuck? It's nowhere near as large compared to the hotel, but it's still a rather bulky building, nonetheless. That must be the convention center I'd read about online. I glance at a couple more things along the street, but decide that I can save the sightseeing for later. It's time to head inside the hotel now and get checked in. I've been to a few hotels in the past, but this is much more extravagant than I could have ever imagined. The sights, the sounds, even the smell. It's hard to describe it all, and I'm left just standing, just feeling in awe right as I enter through the doors. I remind myself that I need to look for the reception area for check-in, but I struggle as I'm easily distracted by the bright marble flooring. The ground's so reflective and shiny that it's practically blinding. Though what catches my eye immediately is the large white and gold modern-looking fountain in the middle of the lobby, periodically sprouting water high up in the air. Spouting water, ha. There's a couple of shops and venues I can see on the outer edges of the lobby, selling what I could only assume are high-end brand products. Everything around seems to be made out of marble. Oh no. Based on the very little I know about architecture, I feel like this is an architect's dream right here. Construction workers, on the other hand, this is a fucking nightmare to them. Like, the architect... Like, okay, the architect designing it, because if I'm not mistaken, architects, they design the building. Like, they create the blueprints and layouts. The construction workers are the ones who build it. The architect probably had a fucking field day building this. And the architect probably had a field day designing this. The construction workers, on the other hand, probably wished ill will upon the architect. Like, they were just like, Jesus Christ! Is this pure marble? What the fuck? Ah! Like, just starts screaming, and then, like, just one of them casually attempts to brutally murder the architect. Everything around seems to be made of marble. Honestly, I don't know if I can fully appreciate it. I spot the reception area at the back of the lobby, past the fountain and next to the hallway that leads to the convention center, as indicated by the signage posted around. They probably did. They probably made bank from this project. I'm getting ahead of myself. First things first, I need to check in. There doesn't seem to be a line right now, so I make my way over as quickly as I can. Good morning and welcome to the Grand Marine, one of the finest hotels in the world. How may I assist you today, sir? A slender-looking cat stands behind the counter and greets me with a smile. He's wearing a suit different from the rest of the other receptionists, most likely the one in charge. Hi, I'd like to check in. Certainly, may I have your ID, please? I rummage through my pockets to pull out my wallet and hand over my driver's license. It's the same license that I was proud to get on my second attempt since I had a small fear of driving before. Thank you very much. I'll proceed to process your registration and check-in. Let's see. It says here you're registered for the TAI convention, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, that's right. Excellent. I've heard good things about the convention this year. You'll be staying in room 2708 on the 27th floor of the main block. Here's your ID and keycard. He hands me back my driver's license along with the keycard for my room. I put my license back inside my wallet and pocket the keycard. We also need you to sign this form to complete your registration. Sure, I don't mind. The receptionist smiles and hands me a clipboard and a pen. Alright, let's see what we have here. I spend the next little bit flipping through the forms, signing on the specified lines. The form's pretty long, but there aren't many parts for me to sign, so I end up finishing it in under a minute. I'm about to hand it in when I realize that some of the sheets are double-sided. Excuse me. The sudden baritone voice catches me by surprise, and I immediately glance up from the paper. There's a large maroon wolf standing right next to me, and for a split second, I thought he was talking to me. I try my best to get a good look at the wolf without looking suspicious. He's definitely well built and tall. Probably a foot taller than me. Seems like he's trying to get the receptionist's attention instead. Good morning and welcome to the Grand Marine. How may I assist you today, sir? Good morning. He practically needs to look straight down to talk to the cat behind the counter. Do you know the list of companies presenting at the convention today? Excluding vendors? Ah, you're referring to the TAI convention, correct?
Said you'd take a bullet. Told me you would die for me. I had a really bad feeling you would be lying to me. We were on the low,
I could speak with my
but I guess
supervisor
you
to
were
find
getting
out.
high with me. Learned a lesson when you showed a different side I see.
The companies presenting today? I don't know all of them, but I'm certain I took a screenshot of the scheduling on my phone. I know the companies presenting today. Both the receptionist and Wolf direct their gaze over at me. Suddenly, I feel like I'm regretting my decision to speak up with all of this information, with all this attention on me. Wolf's gaze lingers on me longer than I'd like. You do? Perfect. Do you happen to know if Cypress is here today? Cypress? The company responsible for inventing a revolutionary way to clean up carbon emissions from the atmosphere? Luckily, I had read up about them prior. I'm pretty sure they're presenting tomorrow. I shake my head. No, I saw the scheduling earlier, and they'll be here tomorrow. The wolf doesn't seem impressed with my answer. He mutters something to himself before nodding at me, acknowledging my reply. Thanks. I only have one thing to say about that wolf. Awooga. That is all. The wolf walks over to another counter, and I take that as my cue to quickly finish up the rest of the form. There. That takes care of that. After placing the pen back on the clipboard, I glance up at the receptionist with a faint smile and hand over the completed forms. Trying my best not to be awkward, the cat takes the clipboards from me and gestures to my left. Thank you for filling out the form. The elevators for the main block are to your left. I hope you have an enjoyable stay with us, and should you require anything, please do not hesitate to contact us. Have a wonderful day ahead, sir. Thank you. As I'm turning around, I notice something bright on the side of the counter and realize they're brochures. I didn't see them until now, so I decided to grab one to read as I'm genuinely curious about this property. The brochure's cover features several images, which I can only assume are popular locations within the hotel. I flip through it quickly, although nothing seems interesting at first. I eventually see some venues listed on the second to last page that pique my interest. I just might check those out later when I have time, but for now I need to drop my luggage off in my room. I fold the brochure neatly and put it in my jacket. From what I gathered online while waiting for my flight, the hotel is divided into 3 sections: Main, West, and North. There's a central building, which is where I'll be staying. Then there's 2 other similar, smaller buildings that connect at the north and west sides. Thankfully, I'm in the north building, so I won't be traveling too far. Turning a corner along the way, I find myself in front of a bunch of people waiting at the elevators. Luckily, there are currently 6 elevators running, and the group of people appear to be thinning down with each pass. I'm waiting for the next availability ride up when my phone begins to vibrate. I'm pretty sure I had my phone set to silent, so I'm also certain that this is my mother replying to my text. I pull out my phone and see a text message from her. Call me. I wonder what she could want. I hit the call button on the side of her contact and wait as the phone dials through. Eventually, the phone picks up on the other end. Hey Mom, how's it going? Hi dear, I hope you're having fun. I just checked in at the hotel. Everything's going smoothly. I'm about to head to my room. My phone is about to die though. Oh lovely, do take some photos for me. I've always wanted to visit the coast. Sure thing. So what did you need? Well, you know that I'm going to the lodge tomorrow, so I thought I could ask you to look over my accounts for me while I'm gone. I won't have any reception, so be sure to contact Aunt Amelia if anything happens. She'll be house-sitting for us while we're gone. Right, my mother often frequents her family lodge that's just a couple hours north of where we live. She usually goes there for a couple of days, but this time she's going for an entire week. I've only been there once since our move, but it sure was cozy there. I often end up looking after her emails and bills while she's gone, but I don't think I have to do much this time since she just paid those off last week. I wonder how Amelia's been. We haven't talked much since she and Mom had that fight earlier this year. Surprised she even agreed to help out. Okay, sure thing. Anyway, we'll talk later. I'm about to drive back from the supermarket. Stay safe and have fun. I love you, Theodore. Thanks, you too, Mom. Love you. The line disconnects and I make a mental note to check over her emails sometime this week. With only 2% charge left, I quickly put my phone away and readjust my grip on my luggage. Not long after hanging up, an elevator arrives and it looks like there's enough room for me to get on. I make my way towards the doors as several people rush in and out. Ouch. Someone just shot out of the elevator and crashed into my left shoulder. I didn't get a good look at whoever it was, but they were certainly larger than me. To top it all off, the contents of my pockets fell out during the collision. Thankfully, I didn't fall over as my suitcase stabilized me. Most of the people have already entered the elevator, and they're all waiting for me now. My ears flatten, and I can feel them getting warmer by the second. I hastily pick up what I dropped, shoving the items back into my pocket. I run into the elevator to press my floor number as fast as I can. Maybe I should get a new jacket that doesn't have open pockets at some point. I managed to find enough space to squeeze in near the control panel with the elevator being near full capacity, but somehow, it still feels spacious while I'm inside. Most of the time, elevators have slow acceleration and you can barely feel them stop and start. But not this one. You can definitely feel the quick jolts and stops periodically to drop off guests. Makes sense. There are 75 floors in the main block. Looks like I'm the last one to get off. Well, the elevator makes a stop at the 27th floor and I step into the hallway. Located by the elevator buttons directly in front of where I'd gone off, there's a small fancy-looking map of the floor layout. I look around and see that there's 4 hallways, all equidistant from each other in every cardinal direction. I had expected to see a long hallway with rooms on the sides, but it looks more complex than that. The layout of the floor also appears to be somewhat hourglass-shaped, with the elevators located in the middle. What an interesting design. Let's see, if I'm here, then room 2708 should be... I trace the map with my claw a few times. I spot room 2708 in the top left corner of the hourglass shape, and I'm making my way over there, start making my way over there. I take the hallway across from me on my left and lug my suitcase behind me, hearing the clicks between the grooves of each marble tile. The hallway itself looks really clean and impressive, but I don't pay much attention to anything besides trying to locate the correct room. 2706, 2707... There it is, 2708! First thing I notice when I get to my room is that the fire escape is right across the hall. That should make it easy to remember where my suite is, in case I end up getting lost. I take out the keycard from my pocket and tap the scanner on the door. There's a soft click and the door automatically opens slowly as it unlocks. My anticipation is at its maximum. I walk into my room and find the light switch. It takes me a second to take everything in, but it's much more grand in person than it appears online. God damn! Most hotel suites are pleasant already, but this room is completely on another level. Intricate designs adorn the floor around the foyer, and glass cabinets and drawers line the room near the bed. Floor-to-ceiling windows with a long black curtain draping one side of the wall. I set down my suitcase and bag underneath a desk that appears to be more expensive than anything I own. Probably don't want to accidentally scratch this desk, or anything in this room for that matter. While my eyes wander around, I noticed a stark contrast between the inside and the view outside. Inside, the room is lit by a golden hue cast by the lamps. Outside, it's mostly just gray. Pretty depressing, really. But the cityscape is amazing. A complete view of the city below. If only it wasn't raining, I'd love to do some exploring. There's a lamp on the corner of the beds that looks like one of those modern art sculptures. It looks quite fragile, as if it could break at any second. Pretty sure that's a mirror. Kind of looks like something I made back in 10th grade for an art project. Yeah, that's a mirror. I discover the lamp's cord and follow it to find the small outlet tucked away behind the nightstand. Perfect, I can finally charge my phone now. I reach into my bag and to pull out some wires and charge my phone by the outlet. I then realize that I haven't checked out the bathroom yet, so I walk back to the foyer and notice a closed door across from the closet. This must be the bathroom. Holy! The bathroom features glossy black marble walls and floors, and a mirror covers one of the walls. At the other end of the room, there's an enormous bathtub that's the largest I've ever seen. Maybe they should rename this to the Grand Marble instead. In awe, I take one last look before ultimately forcing myself back into the main room to put away my belongings. The red suitcase takes a bit for me to wrestle as zippers snag often along the teeth. After a short struggle, I manage to free open the lid and rummage around until I can feel the cool, smooth metal of my laptop. I wish I had room in my backpack for it so that I could have used it on the airplane. I take out the charging cable as well and place both of them on the table next to the large flat-screen TV. There's another outlet by the table side lamp, so I get my laptop charging and end up sitting down at the edge of the bed closest to the exit. The bed's softer than I thought and my legs practically sink in. Now that I'm finally resting in my room, everything hits me all at once and a feeling of disbelief starts to kick in. I'm honestly wondering if I was given the wrong suite or if I ended up in the wrong hotel. Obviously not, though, but still. Feeling warm and realizing the air conditioning isn't that strong, I take off my jacket and throw it onto the other bed across the room, trying to cool myself off. There's still quite a while until the convention officially begins. I think I'll take this opportunity to relax a bit before doing anything else. I spend the next several minutes hunched up by the bedside. Look at all those chickens! Browsing through my phone and checking up on any missed messages. Hiya. I somehow managed to amass over 32 spam emails over the span of a flight. I guess it's time to clear out my inbox. Finding nothing out of the ordinary, I clear out the deleted messages and see a satisfying empty on the screen. I prefer to keep things clean and organized, and that includes not having unnecessary junk around. I eventually run out of things to check and lay down on the bed to stretch out my back instead. My whole body sinks down into the bed, and my mind wanders from thinking of the bed to somehow thinking about the trip as a whole. I don't think I could ever get used to living like this, or at least being rich enough to afford things like this. It was all because of the convention pass I won for a writing competition for Tech Monthly. What does technology mean to you? That was the prompt for the contest, and quite frankly, I'm not even sure how I won. I mean, I always had a passion for writing, and I was always intrigued by technology from a young age. It's not like I'm an avid tech guy like a friend of mine, nor do I do creative writing in my spare time either. I wasn't really even interested in entering this competition from the start. It was mainly my friends that pushed me into doing it. They told me that the grand prize was tickets to TAI, and I suppose I did show some interest back then about wanting to attend since last year. I think that's only half the reason, though. The other reason was that my friends saw that I was in a slump and thought this could help me out, especially since I was unemployed at the time. Trying to find a job without a degree while still dealing with some old baggage with my ex was rough back then. But I appreciate them looking out for me, although I feel like I'm wasting the pass since it's good for up to 3 people. One of them couldn't make it due to their work schedule changing at the last minute, while the other one got accepted to grad school in another country and is swamped with the move. It's a real shame that they couldn't attend the convention with me, but it's understandable. That reminds me, I should probably take a look at my convention pass I printed out to double check the details over. First thing I want to check out is the Sonu 6 keynote that's going to happen shortly after the convention opens up to the public. It's actually one of the main highlights of TAI. Can't wait to see what kind of sound-related stuff they'll showcase this time.
It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water.
Hydration. I lean back on the bed and reach out, just barely managing to grab my jacket from the other bed. I begin rummaging through the pockets looking for my wallet. That's strange, my wallet is in my jacket. Maybe I misplaced it in my pants? I check the pockets awkwardly, still laying down. Also nothing. Trying not to panic, I quickly get up from the bed. I walk over to my bag and check for my wallet. Nothing as well. You have to be kidding me! This isn't happening! Doubting myself, I check my pockets one last time before I'm fully convinced that I really don't have it on me. I can feel the panic starting to set in now, even as I'm trying my best to remain calm! Okay, let's see. If my wallet isn't on me, and it's not in my bag, then... Let me think. Where could I have possibly misplaced it? It doesn't even take me 1 second before it becomes painfully obvious. My ears flatten. I must have dropped it when I was getting on the elevator. That's the only explanation. My whole body tenses up, and I immediately feel a sharp discomfort coming from my stomach. There's a really high chance that it's gone now, huh? But I still need to try. Maybe somebody brought it to the counter, or it's still there. Without thinking, I rip the charging cables from my phone, pocket it, and run straight out the room to the elevators. It's not too hard to figure out where the elevators are when all the hallways connect back to the center, thanks to the hourglass floor layout. I'm practically sprinting at this point, and my steps echo as loud bangs throughout the halls. Luckily, the elevator arrives almost immediately as I press the button to go down. The doors open. There's a couple of people already inside. I try to compose myself, but I'm practically out of breath at this point. Thankfully, there's no stops, and I make it to the ground floor without any interruptions. Okay. I'm at the lobby now. The doors open, and I set up immediately examine the grounds for anything that might resemble my wallet. The only thing my eyes catch is a wet floor sign placed a couple of feet away from where I had my collision earlier. My mind is racing and I'm starting to sweat. I take a couple of deep breaths to calm myself. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. I think about what I should do next, but my mind goes blank. If anyone found my wallet and was kind enough to return it... Okay. It'd probably be at the front desk. It's my only option left, but what if... I walk back over to the reception area and see a different employee now. The slender cat is replaced with the wolf about the same build as me, but in a different colored suit than the cat. Thank God there isn't much of a line! The wolf smiles at me as I walk up to them. I try my best not to look like a walking disaster, but I don't think it's working. Good morning, welcome to the Grand Marine, one of the finest hotels in the world. How may I assist you today? Hey, I lost my wallet not so long ago and I was wondering if anyone had turned it in and reported it here. A missing wallet? The wolf's brow furrows and his expression looks visibly upset. This can't be good. I'm terribly sorry to hear that. Please give me a second to check for you. The wolf starts entering something into his computer on his side and shakes his head. Then proceeds to pick up a small-looking clipboard and flips through it a couple of times before turning around and walking back to the counter. Looks like he's checking through some small containers, but I can't really make it out from where I'm standing. Eventually, he turns around and frowns and returns with a sympathetic frown. I know what that means.
Thank you, Theta. I really appreciate. You are great. Thumbs up.
Thank you. Thank you. Please accept my sincere apologies. I'm afraid there aren't any reports in our system, nor in our lost and found bin. We can notify you if anyone submits one, however. Is there anything else I may assist you with? All hope leaves my body. I think I've officially hit rock bottom. I was pretty stupid in thinking I actually had a chance in finding it. I'm practically screwed. I see. That's okay, I'll be on my way now. I give a small nod and try not to make eye contact with the receptionist as I walk awkwardly back towards the elevators. I line up by a small crowd that's already been waiting, my eyes unfocused and staring off into the distance. The feeling of discomfort starts to spread across my torso, making me nauseous. I'm trying my best to keep it together right now. Hiya. It hasn't even been a day yet, and somehow this vacation's already falling apart. I desperately check my pants again, hoping my wallet will magically appear out of thin air, but of course, there's nothing but my phone and key card. My wallet had all my money, credit cards, and government ID in there. I've had to replace my wallet in the past, and it's not really the money I'm worried about losing. It's the credit cards and IDs I had that worry me. How am I even supposed to fly back home if I don't have any ID on me? It's not like I brought my passport for a domestic flight. Looks like I'm going to be spending my entire day making phone calls to my bank, telling them to cancel my cards, and the entire week figuring out how to get back home without any ID. I wasn't too worried about the convention pass, though. They had sent it to me digitally through my email so I could just show that if needed. Suddenly, I remember I had gone through my email earlier and mass deleted a bunch of emails that were marked as spam likely. There's no way I could have deleted my convention pass. There's no way I could have deleted it, right? With a faint pang deep within my gut, I decided to check my email for peace of mind as I line up for the elevators back to my room. I switched to a familiar email app I use and nervously searched my inbox for TAI. 0 results found. That's the only thing my phone displays, and I'm left feeling dumbstruck in an absolute mess. On a scale from 1 to 10, my friends, we're fucked. We are fucked. I guess I deleted it. I guess I deleted my convention pass. Great! Didn't know rock bottom could go even lower, but here I am. My turn for the elevator finally arrives, and I make my way back feeling absolutely defeated. Unbelievable. I can't believe this at all. I hope this day doesn't get any worse. Even though I wanted to believe that my wallet was just inside my jacket, it's just wishful thinking. The red jacket that my mother gifted to me last Christmas is all sprawled out flat on the bed. If my wallet was really there, it would be obvious to tell. Good night. I walk over to my bedside and sit on the jacket, trying to keep myself from falling apart. I put my paws on my face and let out a huge sigh as I struggle to stabilize my shaky breath, trying my best not to cry. Well, at least on the bright side, I still have my phone. I set my phone down beside me and fall straight back onto the bed. Feeling crushed and tired, maybe I should just sleep it off. Doesn't register to me at first, but I can hear the sound of knocking coming from my door as it becomes louder. Why would someone be on my door? Can't even be seen like this right now. I look like I could break down at any moment. Maybe if I just wait, the knocking will stop. But after waiting in silence for a couple of seconds, the knocking persists. Anyone there? My ears immediately perk up and my eyes grow wide from the muffled voice coming from the other side of the door. 1 second! It takes me no time at all to rush over, but I hesitate as I approach the door, unsure of what to expect. After a couple deep breaths, I'm convinced it's as calm and presentable as I can get from my situation. Out of curiosity, I take a peep through the spy hole and see who the voice belongs to. Hiya! Hello, vocalist! Hello! The lens of the spy hole casts a fisheye effect, but I'm able to make out a large figure wearing a gray jacket on the other side. Wait, it's the same wolf from earlier. He doesn't seem to be holding anything in his paws, but I'm not really sure with the way the wolf has their arms crossed. I stack myself up and swing the door open inward, hoping that this man's here to return my wallet, or something crazy like that. Hi! Now that we're face to face, I just realized how big he is. He's staring at me with a pretty neutral expression, but the intimidating fur pattern on his face leaves a different impression. Hey, it's me from earlier. I saw you drop this. The wolf rummages through his pockets and extends his broad right arm out to me, holding something in his large paw. This is yours. He opens up his paw and I see the unmistakable brown wallet that I've been using for the past several years. A wave of relief suddenly hits me. Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you. I try to keep my composure as best as I can, but I don't think it's possible at this point. I'm beyond elated. I can't help but grin like an idiot. I don't even know what to say. Yes it is! Where did you find it?
Smash.
By the elevators in the lobby. I prop the door open with my foot. Once I'm against the door frame, I try to get a better view, but that's when he steps forward. Huh? Is that a dog? It's not a dog. The door open with my foot. Once I get to the door frame, I try to get a better view, but that's when he steps forward. He gives me a small nod, placing my wallet in my free paw. Here you go. Just make sure you don't lose it again. I let out a nervous laugh and nod back at the wolf. I was looking for my wallet everywhere, and I thought I lost it for good. Oh, well, I'm glad I caught you in your room. Figured it'd be better if I returned your wallet myself. It's been a roller coaster of emotions for me, but I'm glad my wallet is back in my paws now. He brings up a good point, though. How do you know which room I was in? My eyes go wide from my wallet to the wolf standing in front of me. His face still offering a small smile, but it looks like he's waiting for me to say something. My brows furrow slightly, but I keep a smile on my face as the silence draws out. I suddenly realize that I don't even know this wolf's name. Well, thank you so much. Rue. Thank you, Rue. You basically saved my life. To say that I'm happy would be a gross understatement. Thank God. I should look through it, though, and make sure everything's in order. I hope you don't mind if I check over my wallet to see if everything's there or not. Go for it. Rue's expression appears to be earnest, and I don't really doubt him for a second. That, or he's just really good at lying. I open my wallet and scrutinize every flap and divider inside, making sure everything's in its rightful place. All seems to be in order. My cash, cards, and convention pass. I glance back up at the wolf with a look of relief as a small chuckle comes out of me. I guess it wouldn't hurt to ask him how he figured out which room I'm staying in. Everything's here, thankfully. Thank you. Though I am a bit curious, how did you figure out which room I'm staying in? There's nothing in my wallet that mentions that. Lug, how much more is left in this update? Because I'm kind of curious if we should leave off soon or finish it tonight. If we should just play this entire game tonight. I'm trying to figure that out. Oh, okay. Rue doesn't seem to understand the question at first and looks confused, but his demeanor almost immediately changes to a grin and gives me a small nod. Oh. I overheard the receptionist say your room number. From earlier? I'm surprised he was able to pick up on something like that. Was he eavesdropping on our conversation? That's right. The wolf looks off into the distance and then back at me. Your wallet. There might be some bite marks on it. Bite marks? I look down at my wallet and then back at him. I tilt my head to the side as if expecting him to say. That's not something I expected him to say, but at this point, I'm just glad I got my wallet back with everything intact. Let me explain. Please go ahead. The wolf crosses his arms and looks at me. Our eyes meet for a split second before he turns away. He seems like he's worried or annoyed by his expression. Was nearby when you dropped your wallet earlier. In fact, I saw someone rush out of the elevator and smack right into you. Didn't think anything of it, but then you just left it there. Figured you couldn't have seen it from where you were standing in the elevator since it flew pretty far to the side. At the same time, some lion spotted your wallet and snatched it up before I got to it. He pocketed your wallet and acted like nothing happened. When I got closer to him and asked, he acted like he didn't even know what a wallet was. Oh, well, what happened next? Rue lets out a small chuckle. Well, I wasn't about to let some guy take off with a wallet, so I decided to confront him about it. Told him to return it back to you, but he wasn't buying what I was selling. Almost got coffee thrown on me by that lunatic. Guy threw his cup at me as I was approaching him. Thankfully, his aim was shit. My jaw nearly hits the floor as I process everything the wolf is telling me. Did this really happen? This is insane. At that point, he was either desperate or stupid because he decided to shove the whole wallet down his maw. Neurotic, I'm telling you. My eyes grow wide and I'm left just staring at Rue speechless. So how'd you get it back then? I may have coerced him, but don't worry about the details. Anyway, I already cleaned and disinfected it for you. I'm not sure if I should be worried right now. I take out my wallet and examine it. There appears to be some small, faint indents that run along both sides of the leather. Well, I mean, hey, I have my wallet back, so really, thanks again. Rue waves a paw towards me and then puts them in his jacket. Don't mention it. You're welcome. He pulls out his phone from one of his pockets and stares at it for a second before making eye contact with me. Well, gotta get going now. Take care. Okay, thank you again! Rue smiles at me and gives me a small farewell wave before turning around and walking away. Hey, wait! Rue stops and turns around. I don't know why I blurted that out, but I feel like I need to properly repay Rue for returning my wallet. It's the least I could do for him. Hey, did you want to grab something to drink or something? It's on me. My tone shifts, becoming more serious as I motion over at Rue. He's already halfway down the hallway. I just want to pay you back for returning my wallet. It's the least I can do. Don't worry about it. Honest. I'm running on a tight schedule right now anyway, so maybe if we meet again. Oh, okay. Thanks again then, Rue. Later. The wolf waves goodbye to me one last time and proceeds to walk down the hall. I close the door and walk towards my bed, taking another look through my wallet and inspecting it one last time. A large sigh of relief escapes me as I spot the convention ticket still neatly tucked away in one of the little compartments of my wallet. It really seems like Rue hadn't gone through my wallet after all, at least from what I can tell. With all that out of the way, the adrenaline starts to wear off, and I start to feel my body cool down. I'm glad everything's back to normal. I lay down, closing my eyes as I wait for my body to settle down. As my breathing finally normalizes, I check the time on my phone. Still have an hour and a bit before they actually open to the public. Okay, that's good. This will be a great chance to explore the hotel for a bit now that I have some time to burn. I get up and put my wallet in my pants, this time making sure there's no way it could fall out. Definitely learned my lesson. I grab my phone and key card and store those in my other pocket in my pants. The brochure comes to mind as I'm about to leave, and I do a quick 180 to take it from my jacket pocket before heading out. The event panels and tech booths aren't ready for at least a short while, even after the convention opens up. Normally there are opening ceremonies and conventions like these, but not this one. Since there's so many tech companies present, most of them have their own procedures of sorts. For the time being, though, exploring the hotel might do me some good. Despite my dislike of traveling, I don't mind exploring buildings like hotels and malls. Feels cool to be adventuring around places that people have referenced liminal spaces to. I take out the brochure from my pocket and try my best to increase the folds. There were some pictures that caught my eye earlier, so I scrutinize the contents more carefully this time. While there are over a dozen places to visit, only 6 of them interest me. The lobby, gardens, restaurant, swimming pool, rooftop terrace, and casino. The other venues listed on the brochure don't seem to be noteworthy to me or are currently unavailable. I don't think I'll have enough time to visit all of them, though. Well, I guess since I'm already at the lobby, I'll see what's around here first, and then check out the gardens after. I take in the sights as I stroll around, walking to whatever interests me. There's the shops that line the hallway on the other side of the lobby, various bars and lounging spots. There are several pristine-looking sofas in each corner of the room, each having a kiosk of some sort in the middle. There's someone using one of them across the room from me. I can't really make out what it's doing, but their kiosk starts swiveling up and down. Maybe it's some kind of scan? That's pretty cool. I wonder what it's doing. I look around and find a vacant kiosk on the opposite side of the room. Might as well try it out for myself. I make my way over, and before I even get a chance to sit down, I hear a robotic voice come from the kiosk. Hello. I stare at the screen illuminated in bright blue. Several apps load up and display the main menu. Hi. There's some hesitation in my voice as I don't see any obvious microphone near the machine for me to speak into. Now that I'm closer up, I notice the display is a large reflective LED panel of some sorts. This lobby is already so bright from the white marble everywhere, and now the panel is trying to blind me too. How may I assist you today? What can you do? I can perform various functions. I can play music, display local traffic, show the latest news. The machine continues to list its functionalities on the screen, but there is one that catches my attention. Honestly, I didn't expect the kiosks to speak this coherently. The voice recognition is also impressive. I didn't notice any issues with it interpreting my speech as of yet. The kiosk continues to list off various other features, but I pick up on the words Scan Biometrics at the end. What exactly is Scan Biometrics? The entire body is scanned with infrared light, UV light, and proprietary technology binodal visions. I am able to give readings on your heart rate, stress levels, brain activity, and general health diagnostics. The scan is roughly 99.999% accurate and has been used in hospitals to aid physicians. Please note it is still currently under development in order to improve efficiency. Please also keep in mind that such functionality should not be a substitute for seeking medical attention or advice. There's no way a flimsy, oversized monitor could give such detailed readings, right? But then again, I haven't been in the loop for a while. Still, I'm rather curious to see what this robot has to tell me. Here goes nothing. Could you scan my biometrics? Certainly. Please remain completely still as I scan your biometrics. The kiosk moves and tilts back on its own and actually catches me by surprise. I didn't notice until now, but there are 5 tiny cameras on the top of the screen that all seem to be powered on. I remain completely still while looking at the machine with a mix of fascination and awe, though I'm not sure what to expect because it seems like nothing is happening at all. Several of the cameras start glowing a deep blue and disappears as soon as it comes. This might be the UV light the kiosk mentioned. The screen on the machine flashes a faint green. I can hear a faint whirring sound coming from the kiosk before it silences itself. We have not reached the end of my voice. I've never really had a medical checkup like this before in my life. Having it performed by a machine makes me somewhat nervous for some reason. Biometric scan complete. That was fast. It barely even took more than a minute. A large part of me is curious to know what the results are, but at the same time, I'm nervous to hear any bad news. Heart rate, normal. No signs of abnormal electromagnetic signals or arrhythmia detected. I might change real soon if I hear any bad news. Stress level. High levels of stress detected. Fluctuation of abnormal levels of stress. Stress decreasing trend. Please consult a medical professional if stress levels do not decrease soon. Wait. Stressed? Is it referring to the fact that I lost my wallet earlier? I thought I calmed down quite a bit, but I guess not. I'm still a bit skeptical that this thing can accurately determine my health condition, but so far it's scoring 2 for 2, I guess. Brain activity. High. Electrical activity and blood flowing at higher median capacity than sample group. User may be under deep thought. Huh? Am I really under deep thought? I guess. And how the hell does it scan my brain signals? Aren't there usually electrodes attached to a person's head for this sort of stuff? I'm pretty sure that's something they need to record electrical signals for the brain. General health diagnostics. Fair. Heart and brain functions are substantial. Stress levels are high but decreasing. Please continue to monitor stress level. It is recommended to get at least 30 minutes of moderate exercise a day to maintain a healthy body and lose weight, as your body fat concentration is above average for your species. Report finished. Huh? Did this robot just call me fat? I know I'm not skinny, but I'm certainly not fat. Just a bit chubby, if anything. I stare at the now blank screen in disbelief. Part of me wishes it would elaborate further, but nothing happens until I start to move. Thank you for using Nodal Vision's technologies. How else may I assist you today? No, that's all for now, thanks. The monitor of the kiosk dims, and it appears that it's gone to some sort of standby mode as I start walking away from it. Well, that was something. I've heard of Nodal Vision before, but I didn't know they made technology like this. Honestly, the biometric scan did impress me, even though I already knew this kind of technology had already been around for a while. Guess the next place to check out is the gardens, since I'm not too keen on exploring the rest of the lobby after this experience. From what I read, the garden is one of the main attractions of the hotel that everyone has to check out at least once. They have flora from all over the world, and apparently, their selection has only been getting more and more exotic every year. It just went, I'll lose weight. And then just, like that. At least that's what was advertised in the brochure and online. I double-checked the pamphlet for directions to the garden. Time to do some exploring. We're going to leave off here tonight. And I actually want to do something real quick. So I'm going to quit out of there. And yeah. This is actually one of the things that I tweeted about. Let me go over to community. I think it's community. Yeah, community. Yeah. There are 2 people that come to mind right now. I'll probably adjust this later, but for now, just want to make sure I get this right. Night Amethyst 21, is that your account? Pretty sure that is your account. Actually, did I get the right account? I I think I did. Hang on. Let me check something. Yep, that is the right account. Congratulations. VIP era for Amethyst. The only other person that I can think of right now. Raj. VIP. Save. And there we go. That is all. I just wanted to do that on stream. I just want to do that for you all on stream. Anyways, stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.